those of you who are new in the room today, I'd love to give you a quick flyby of what our business, our opportunity is all about and what you can expect as a Forever business owner. If you, during the day, get the courage to speak to people, one of the things you'll find is that people have joined Forever Living over the years for a whole host of different reasons. And, you know, for us, it's not about where you've come from, it's more about where you want to get to. What we have is a business model, an opportunity, a flexible vehicle that enables you to create more independence, some extra income for yourself, a career income for yourself, maybe, as it said on the screen here, financial freedom, a pension, whatever it is. I liken it to a buffet table. If you just want to come and have a little snack, you can, put a few hours in, get some return for that, or over time you can come and have a feast from our buffet table. And one of the great things about our recognition slots today is you're going to see people at every end of the spectrum. Some people who are just starting on their Forever journey, and very many of us that have been doing this for a lot of years. Nearly all of our speakers, I guess all of our speakers, will probably tell their story too. And when you listen to those stories, I want you to recognize that, you know, people have come from all sorts of backgrounds and all sorts of walks of life. And that's what I love as one of the unique features of our business. I'm often asked by guests, is there any stereotypical background that your leading business owners come from? And I can honestly say, no, there's not. A wide variety of backgrounds and previous experience. Who are we? Well, last year we celebrated our 40th birthday. We're still a privately owned company, a family-run business, started by a gentleman called Rex Morn, who you'll hear more about later on, from small, humble beginnings in our hometown of Phoenix, Arizona, and the picture you see on the slide there is our head office in Phoenix. From small, humble beginnings, Rex and the board have built a multi-billion-dollar business that now spans the globe. And the significance of that for you and I as independent business owners is that we can choose, as we're our own boss, whether we build our Forever business just locally in our local community, whether we build it nationally around the UK, or whether we build it internationally. So we share with those of you who are new in the room today an international opportunity. Literally, the ID number that you get is your passport to develop teams all around the world. Certainly from a head office point of view, what we see, or what we've seen in particularly the last decade, is that more and more of our newer people are building international businesses almost right from the start. If you have a smartphone on you today, which I guess you probably have, then you've got the ability to connect with people all around the world. Share with them our amazing products, share with them our business opportunity, and if they choose to get started in any one of those 160 countries, they become part of your team. When I first looked at Forever Living, which was 25 years ago, in a couple of weeks' time, I'm having my 25th birthday. That's what that aloe does for you, you know. When I was first looking at Forever, the bottom right-hand thing on the slide here, which has disappeared, there it is, cash rich and debt-free. That was something that impressed me back then, impresses me even more today. You know, we're not a business that's owned by a bank or a financial institution. We are a business that's completely in control of our future. The infrastructure of support that we have, whether it be buildings, whether it be machinery, we own. When we open up new countries around the world, they are funded from the profits of our successful countries. And that should be reassuring for those of you, whatever stage of your Forever journey you're on, that in the future we're going to be around to pay you the bonuses that you've developed as a result of your hard work. In the UK, we have over a 25-year history. So I believe that if you're starting today, you benefit greatly from that history. 20 years ago plus, it was a little harder to build a Forever business because back then we didn't have the sheer number of success stories in the UK that we have today. There are very many people in our audience today whose sole income, their career, is Forever Living. And that can be really useful to you when you're trying to introduce a new person to the business, to be able to share with them the very many success stories that we have. Whilst we have a great successful history here, one of the things I notice as I travel around is that we're still possibly the best kept secret in the UK. Yes, I bump into people who say, oh yeah, Forever Living, I've heard of them. Sometimes I bump into people like that, and I always ask them, really, okay, what's your favorite product from our product range? Whenever I ask that second question, I establish most times they're not even using our product. So they've heard of us, but they're not really engaged with us. The vast majority of people I speak to, however, have never heard of us before. So I truly believe that this is still a massive ground floor opportunity for those of you getting started today. You can find out more about our products as the day goes on, because as always there's going to be some product information today. We've got the product experience areas out there manned by our staff, so an opportunity to test and trial our products today. For Rex and the board, the message around the products has always been that we will make the best products in the world. That's why we call them superior products. We reinvest millions of dollars of our turnover every year, our profits every year, into the development of new products. Some of you are going to get sight of some of our new products in about 1 month's time in Stockholm. Anybody coming? Who's coming to Stockholm? Well, we are a small, compact group in Stockholm. I think there's about 700 of us amongst 15,000 screaming business owners. So get plenty of rest before you go, because I'd really love to come back with the Spirit Award for the country that made the most noise. Do you think we can do that? We're not going to do it based on that, I can tell you. Do you think we can do that? Oh, that's very much better, very much better. Adam, how many times have we won the Spirit Award? Not many, have we? Don't go there. We were robbed. Yeah, I won't tell them the story about when you stamped on another country's flag. That was really bad spirit. But anyway, the idea is the Spirit Award goes to the country that makes or puts the most energy into the event. So Stockholm in 4 weeks' time, we've got a chance to do that. I know that many of you know that we have a party on the Saturday night of the Stockholm event. I think we've got just a few tickets left for that. There's 2,000 people at the party. We've got 500 tickets. And it's amazing how very many of you bought the tickets for the party before you bought the tickets for the event. That tells you something about the mindset, but excellent. So in Stockholm, we'll be releasing some new products, and some of our old favorites are coming back, one of which I know you're going to love because summer's coming. Deodorant is always useful in the summer. That's excellent, yeah. Our key products are pictured here. Our aloe vera drinks, which have always been our foundation product. Close to 50% of our turnover comes from our drinks. If you are not yet drinking our drink, if your family is not yet drinking our drink, I strongly encourage you to do that, because the benefits that you feel will be significant. I can honestly say, hand on heart, even if I wasn't involved with Forever, which I cannot imagine, but 25 years I've been drinking that delicious gel, I would still want to keep taking that product. It is amazing. For me, the biggest statement we make about our products is the unconditional 60-day money-back guarantee that we've had on our products from the beginning. That type of guarantee really doesn't exist in many other places, where a friend, a family member, somebody you don't know as a consumer can try your product with the confidence that if they don't like it, or it doesn't work for them, or they don't like the color of the packaging, we give them their money back. That's a pretty bold guarantee, isn't it? That must mean we're confident in our products, and indeed we are. Less than 0.5% of our product comes back under that guarantee. And one of the reasons we can be this confident is the statement on the screen here. From plant to product to you, we control every stage of that process, so we know exactly what goes into our products. So what can you expect as a business owner in terms of income potential? Well, the bottom line is the person who's in control of that, you look at every day when you look in the mirror. This is a business, and like any other business that you might have chosen to start, it will be about time, energy, effort, the amount of effort that you put in. There are very many people who are engaged with us simply because they want to make an additional few £100 a month in a very relaxed way as a product promoter. We literally have hundreds of thousands of these around the world. And for me, I always say to my team, we should never underestimate the impact that £200, £300, £400 extra money coming into a household every month can make. How many of you in the room would benefit from an extra 200, 300, 400 pound a month coming in? You know, when you read the very many articles that we see in the press around how people struggle to make ends meet, if you choose you want more money, then that's about putting more time and effort in. And you'll see the next level on our screen here we call a business leader. This is when you're getting a small team around you. And you know, there is a lot of satisfaction from helping other people get started in their business. I know today, for example, very many people coming across the stage quite rightly will be proud of the recognition they get and the pin that they get, whatever positions it's at. But I can promise you there's another group of people who will be stood in the audience who are even more proud, and those are the people that had the courage to introduce that person to the business in the first place. And then that develops into business developer. The incomes that we have on the screen represent averages for those levels. There is no limit to the amount of money that you can make. You are your own boss. You're never going to get a letter from us saying you need to do more or you need to work harder. You decide your agenda each week in terms of the hours you're going to put in and who you're going to work with. Equally, good news for you, you'll never get a letter from us saying you're making too much money. So from the very same box of products that you have access to, the very same marketing plan, working in the very same communities, we create people who just make a few pounds because they want to, through to people who've become literally millionaires from exactly the same business model. What you'll learn over time, what I've learned over time, is also we are more alike than different. The challenges that you have in your head about whether you can build a business or not, or whether it'll work for you, or whether there is any positive people on the planet at all, we all have those thoughts. Sometimes, you know, when we get started in this business, we expect that our friends and family will be delighted and support us, and sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. That's just the way that it is. Not everybody's going to hear your message or be as excited about your message as you are. But if you talk to enough people, if you have enough confidence, if you build that belief, then it will work for you. And when you look at our business, I think there's just a few areas to focus on to build that belief in. The first part is the product. If you believe as strongly as very many of us do about the product, you will have no problem sharing that enthusiasm with others, in the same way as if you saw a film or a TV program and liked it, you talk about it. You'll see Sarah during the day walking around. She's our head of marketing. It's just an example of this, talking to her backstage. She recommended a program to me a few weeks ago. Is it Mother, Father, Son or something? I started watching it. So I'm addicted to it, like I'm trying to catch up. And I'm talking to everybody else about it. And that's an example of what we do with our products. When you have confidence, you share. You don't need to be a salesperson. You're just an enthusiastic recommender. So belief in the product is the first thing. Belief in the company is the second thing. You know, whenever we joined, for me 25 years ago, did I believe everything about Forever Living day one? Well, of course not. You know, we're conditioned to be skeptical about things. But what I've learned over the years is that everything that I've been shared with from Forever is true. It works. It happens. So I've built a strong belief, and I encourage you to do the same thing. And the way to do that is to come to events like this, where you can see lots and lots of examples of success that the company has created. The third area I think to build belief in is our industry, the industry of team marketing or network marketing. Still, in my opinion, misunderstood. We are still pioneers in our industry. But I truly believe that in the future, at some point, our industry will be as respected or recognized as a business model as, for example, the franchise industry is, because there's really not a lot of difference. There's a blueprint. The difference being we don't pay a fortune for a franchise, and we don't pay a franchisee every year to represent their brand. It's completely different in that sense in Forever, but a similar model. And the fourth area to build belief in is ourselves. Very many people joining us have never been in business for themselves before, never done anything like this before, and so therefore you need to start building that self-belief. And again, events like this for me are a great opportunity to build that belief, because you'll see people coming across the stage who are like you, and if they can do it, you can do it. So a very simple business model, but don't confuse simple with easy. It requires effort. In addition to the bonus checks that we can enjoy each month, there are always lots of additional incentives that Forever put on, either on a sporadic basis. For example, for Stockholm, we ran an incentive where you could get free tickets and spending money when you were there. We have 2 global travel incentives each year, an opportunity to travel the globe. And again, for those of us in the audience that have done this for a while, we've been to some amazing cities over the years. In Stockholm, of course, we will be announcing the venue for next year's Global Rally. So who knows, it might be here in the Ricoh Arena. So we'll spend a few million quid and 3 people will go, yeah, that's, I'm liking that. Listen, over the years, it's going to get around the planet, but I can promise you, it's not in the UK next year, but if it was in the UK, it's an opportunity for us to really build our business. So sometimes it's somewhere far-flung, somewhere it's closer to home, but over the years, I love Adam's example. Adam's been on stage before now with, I was going to show me lanyard, but I took it off, the lanyard that we get at each event, and he has a mass of lanyards from countries all around the world. So if there's anybody in the room today that likes the idea of free travel with spending money, slightly better. It's a tough audience today, I tell you. It's a tough audience. Then this is the place to be. And in addition, we have a second trip, which is our Eagle retreat. Excellent. Things are really warming up here. And as I said, in addition, lots and lots of other incentives to go to. For me, this quote is a strong representation of the mindset that we need in life. You know, decide to become one of those people who've chosen to live their lives by design. I truly believe that when you find a vehicle like Forever Living, a vehicle that's easy for anybody to access, they don't need to invest thousands of pounds, they don't need stock, they don't need premises, they don't need staff, you can design your own life. Why not, you know, start to dream again about some of the things that perhaps you dreamt about when you were younger, and those dreams have just got lost because of circumstances, because in your current position, perhaps your current job, it's hard to see how you can make very much more money than you are now. Doesn't matter what your job is in the UK, there's a salary scale or range attached to that. And yes, you can move careers and enhance yourself, but most times when you're in a job, somebody else is paying you what they think you're worth rather than what you think you're worth. And you know, we have an opportunity with this vehicle to design our own lives, to step outside of the norm. And it is about stepping outside of the norm. You know, there are not that many adults when they reach their 20s that are still dreaming big. All you moms who stood up earlier on, your kids are still dreaming big if they're small anyway. If we had some of your kids on stage today and say, you know, what sort of car would you like to drive in the future? What would it be? You know, it's going to be Porsche, Ferrari, Bentley, Lamborghini. It's probably not going to be Ford Focus, Renault Clio, Honda Civic. By the way, if you drove here today in a Ford Focus, Renault Clio, Honda Civic, I apologize for the poor nature of that joke. However, the truth is that is what happens to us. We're going to live in a big house. We're going to have exotic holidays. We're going to do this, that, and the other. And as time goes by, those dreams get squashed. So designing your own life is what it's all about, not having your life driven by somebody else by default. And that involves the next sentence, challenging our limiting beliefs. There will be a tape running in your head that tells you things about yourself that aren't necessarily true. And that tape has been programmed by influential people over the years who said you can't do that, or don't be ridiculous, nobody does that, or that won't work. How many in the room have got examples of that, perhaps even in their schooling, where teachers said, stop daydreaming? Anybody get that? Must be really confusing when you come into Forever Living then and we say, start daydreaming, you know? Stop daydreaming. And the other thing we say, which your parents told you not to do, of course, your parents said, don't speak to strangers, and we're going to tell you, speak to as many strangers as you can. So there is a lot of conflicting things when you get into Forever Living. Limiting beliefs are something we work on each day. And the last statement is the most important. Believe you can. Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're absolutely right. So an incredible opportunity for each and every one of us to be the best that we can be. And on that journey, we get supported by a whole host of people. We have a phrase in Forever that says you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And one of the teams I'd like you to help me recognize are our UK leadership team. We met with some of them yesterday, a small working party. We're working on a new business opportunity meeting, which we hope to bring to you in the coming weeks. So I'm very excited from what we worked through yesterday. We've got some great things lined up for you. But these people commit their time, their knowledge, their expertise so that we can develop those blueprints that each and every one of us can benefit from. So any of our leadership team that are in the room, if they could please stand, please help me recognize them, get to chat to these guys today. Thank you for the great work that you do. Thank you. So for all the new people in the room, I hope that's given you a little insight into what the Forever World's all about, and I really hope that you enjoy your day and get inspired by what you see today.